Years ago, there was a show called Kids Say the Darndest Thing. It was a show hosted by Bill Cosby where they would catch kids saying some of the most innocent things, or repeating something their parents said, very unknowing that they were listening. I had one of those such instances very short time ago. We've been trying to teach our 5-year-old daughter, who's 5.5, on smoking and how it's bad for you and some of the negative things that it has for your health. But we were walking into a store one day, and outside there was a lady smoking, and she turns to me and says, "Daddy, we need to tell her that smoking's bad for her health, and she stinks." Well, I don't think we had to tell her because the lady was only 2 feet away, and I'm pretty sure she heard us. I wasn't mad, I wasn't upset. I was very proud of her. She has the right to voice what she thinks about smoking just as much as the lady outside the building had the right to smoke. So some of the questions we're going to look at is, what rights does the government have to regulate smoking? What rights does a smoker have? And what rights does a non-smoker have? The U.S. Constitution in Article 8 states the U.S. government is responsible for the health of all people, sex, race, color, or religion. Okay, so there's no Article 8, but many of the local governments are trying to ban smoking and create smoking bans within their local cities. But what they can do is in Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution, where it says the Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excise, to pay debts, and to provide for the common welfare and defense of the United States. An article in the Dallas Morning News recently stated that the federal taxes increased 62 cents on a pack of cigarettes up to $1.01 to match the local taxes at $1.41 to help offset the cost of chip and to help with the high property taxes. So what right does a smoker have in public places? An article on Points of View written by Mr. Lee stated that banning smoking prevents an individual smoker from exercising their right to smoke. It also prevents the individual organization and places of business to choose whether they want to enforce those rules against smoking. Years ago, the government enacted a Clean Air Act. What this made some of the facilities that had smokers and non-smokers, they had to install expensive ventilation systems. These ventilation systems were made so that it exhausted the smoke and not allowed the non-smokers to smell that. So with these bans in place now, the facilities that have already installed these expensive ventilation systems are now not going to be able to use them because they can't allow smoking at all. So where do the rights of non-smokers fit into all this? When you think of a non-smoker, who do you think of? You think of a teenager, an elderly person, or middle-aged. You probably think of somebody like yourself. Well, an article in the Duluth News-Tribune kind of had me thinking about a whole new group of people that I normally didn't think of, and these are our kids. Kids don't have the ability to make a choice. Sometimes those people that are smokers are parents, family members, or even legal guardians. So they are exposed to secondhand smoke against their will. Now let me kind of hit pause and say that people that walk into a restaurant knowing it's a smoking facility and are non-smokers, they have that ability to choose, unlike a child that has to be around a parent. So each side has its points and counterpoints. The government does not have the constitutional right to ban smoking, but can excise taxes on those. A person that smokes should be able to make that choice, and some non-smokers have the ability to choose, while some do not. So next time you're outside of a building and you're walking in and you're smoking a cigarette and a 5-year-old walks up to you and says, "Smoking's bad for your health and you stink," just remember, kids say the darndest things. Well, I kind of botched that one.